Alright, back. So now we got a fresh day, we might as well start something fresh. Let's put the motor together. So let me put this into the bike. So we need to get the bearings onto here. And they're all laying over here in a pile. Like right here. It looks like they just have one washer they use. Ooh, not a lot of clearance either. Ooh, that's not good. We have a problem here. Appears somebody over tightened the main shaft and sucked it into the flywheel so far there's no room for the bearing to go in here now. So, there's where the snap ring goes, which is over here. And you put the washer onto here. It covers up the screw, so you can't put this on. So we sucked this shaft inside the flywheel quite a bit and torqued it in there. Maybe that's why it was so hard to true, because it was tight. Alright, so now we have a problem. We either got to run with no washer, which I really don't want to do. We got to find some other washer that's really small diameter like this, which I don't think we're going to find that. I don't think I have any that small. Or we got to use some bigger snap ring, which there's no room for, so I can't do that. Cut the cage down a bunch. That's kind of the option I'm thinking of. And we're going to take down about that much. That's a lot. That'll weaken the cage a lot also. Might cause it to break. But it's a lesser of two evils. So, what are we going to do for a thinner washer? See, I don't know of any thinner washers this size that might work, because it has to go inside the case, which is right here. So it has to fit through that hole down there. So, let's go over and look in our 45 transmission department. It's right down there. Maybe we can find something that might work. There you go. That's where we have lots of parts. You never know when you might find something you need. So the OD is too big. And the ID is too big also. Damn. I knew that was going to be close. I can cut the OD down, but it's too damn sloppy. It's not the way to go. Alright. The earlier motor might have some, but those are oddball. I don't have any. Alright. Alright, that's about it for the hopefully finding something that will work department. So what are we going to do? This washer is way thicker than it needs to be. 74 thousandths. But I got no way of grinding it down quickly. It's too small to cut down. Take a lot to grind that down. I better like grinding the cage down. Ugh. Jeez. I don't know why I'm tired. Let's see. Sports or transmission to got some stuff that's close. This is a 1-inch hole. So we need a 1-inch ID main washer. So what has a 1-inch ID on it around the Harley? Let's see. Cams are 1 1/8. Big twin cams they don't have thrust washers for. Sports or transmissions washers are similar. I think they're bigger than 1 inch. These are all my washers over here. we gotta find something we can use. So go in here. Handy dandy workbench. So these have way too small of a hole in them. That's not 1 inch. It's 7/8 of an inch. The OD 330, so the OD is fine. The ID is bad. I can bore out the ID. 74. I think the OD is too small for the cage. It needs to be 3/8. About 30 thou bigger, it'd probably be a lot better. Yep. 30 thou. 364. This is 331. 30 thou bigger would do the trick. But would it matter if it's a little bit smaller? Not really. See, the snap ring hits right to here, so that's not a problem. The cage isn't going to care, so we could use that. And these all come in all kinds of different dimensions. Alright, so that gives us a good candidate there without having to cut the cage. Yeah, there we go. What else do we got? Main shaft washers. They're way too big on the OD. And they're small on the ID too. Nope, they're 1 inch. Not quite 1 inch, close. But the OD is way bigger. They're 1.5 inches on the OD, so they're too damn big. So I can cut the ID, cutting the OD is going to be a problem. 76 thou. Where did I grab this thing from? I got it in the wrong spot. 76 is over there someplace. Yeah, 75. Okay. Alright, so that's not going to work. So it looks like the counter shaft is the way, or grind the cage down. So I like the idea of cutting this one down. Okay, we need the thickness of the snap rings that we're missing. So we only need about 30 thousandths. 74, 40. That's 30. 40. There we go. 40 and 30. 76. 76. There we go. So we just bore this thing out. And it'll work. Let's go look at what we gotta do again. And see if which direction we want to go. Either cut the cage or make the washer. Which one do we want to do? That is the decision. Which one do we want to do? I want to go home. Okay. I know these are pretty strong, but they will break. Now, if you cut the washer down, is that going to support this? Yeah, it'll still support it. And how's it going to work on that? It ain't going to care about being a little bit smaller in diameter. The cage is already small like that. $360. Yeah, cage is fine. It ain't going to care. It doesn't fit. What happened? It'd be a lot thicker than that. I don't think it's that far off. I think we're less than I thought of. I think we're like 15th thou off. For 15th thou, I'll grind the cage. Alright, I'm going to go grind the cage. I'll be back a little bit. Alright, it's all ground down now. It is one hard ass cage, like all cages. They are hard. It's like trying to grind down them oil pump gears. You know, it doesn't make a bunch of sparks and do anything. And we start around 91 to 95, depending on where you're at. We're down at 74, 75 now, so. On the video? Yeah, maybe see it maybe. So anyway, we narrowed it up about 15 to 20 thou. Enough room to do something now. Yep, I can see a full groove now. Looks like it's supposed to be. You got clearance after it goes in. Should have a few thou. Alright, problem solved. I just wanted me to work a little harder is all it did. Alright. Solvent in my eye. Well, there's a bug bite. Which one was it? Oh, I got solvent in my eye. That happens frequently. Last night I had a whole mouthful of it. That tasted horrible. Okay, bearings are in. Well, we can't turn that sideways because they're going to fall out. So you have to pick it up carefully. Not do that. My fingers are pushing too hard. Like that. Says you can't work with no sleep. Make sure there's a little oil on that because it's probably relatively tight. Okay, now to put these in, you got to spread them apart a little bit. These are wrapped backwards. There's some reason why they did that. You don't want to bend them apart so much you permanently flex them bent. Now this shaft is so big here, it makes it hard to get the snap ring in there. There it goes. It was going. There it goes. Shaft had a lip on it, didn't want to go over it. It's a good thing I gave it that extra 5. It's only got about 8. Yeah, maybe 10 on the outside. But feel a lot better with that extra 5 in there. I was going to stop at 80 and went to 75. It's a good thing I did. Okay, so that's in there. A little bit of lube on it. Goes over our stand over here. Okay. I got our oil pump assembly still attached right now, which I haven't taken out yet. Usually I don't have an oil pump attached, in my opinion, to the right side case when I put it together. I don't know if I want to do it that way or not. I haven't decided yet. Guess I better make a decision pretty soon though. How much longer it's going to be together. One way or the other will be together in a minute or two. Okay, so we need to put our pinion, or I mean our sprocket shaft Timken bearing onto the flywheel. So it takes this tool here. You do not press it on the flywheel, you screw it on, which actually presses it on, but the only load on it's on the top of the thread to the bearing. Because if you press on the flywheel assembly like some dumbasses do around here, it takes that nice true crank right there and it goes like that and bends the piss out of it. And believe me, that's not what you want to do to your flywheel assembly you just got done screwing. It knocks it way the hell out of whack. I had a customer do that a few months ago. He got called a dumbass and a few other things. So we lube up our bearing. Stick it on there. So the only load on the crank is going to go between this taper right here, I mean the thread, and this tool is going to push the bearing down. There's no load on the shaft, it's on the flywheel, it's only on the shaft. It's only really on the upper part of the shaft. Alright, this gives you a workout for the end of the day. Or the beginning of the day for me. You know, work for a half hour next day. It's like a rowing exercise. Okay, that's down. Alright, that was the easy part. Do not forget to put your Timken bearing spacer between your Timkens. If you don't do that, you'll lose the crank. Go look at that buyer beware video and you'll see why. It tears up the crank in the case real bad. Okay, now how are we going to do this here? Okay. Now is this going to fit here? Quit looking at me. This has to fit inside of here in order to push on the bearing. Good, it fits. Some applications it doesn't. Not this one. Okay, so spacers in there, double check. So we didn't put any oil inside the case yet. Always pre-lube everything. If in doubt, put some more oil on it. Can't get too much on there, it's dripping all over the place, makes a mess, that's all. Now we already pre-clearanced the bearings, so we shouldn't have any issues. So as it said, shouldn't have any issues. The case gets screwed up. Doesn't mean we won't have any issues. This tool's been modified. I put a Torrington bearing in here, so that way it makes it easier to turn. Just having like a brass washer in there, like the